In this interview, in this video, in this episode, pick a name for it, I am very excited to introduce you to a good friend from Serbia. Met him a bunch of years ago when he attended a class I was teaching. I was teaching the accredited buyer representation class in San Diego. Not the last time the expo was in San Diego, but the time before, I want to say 2015-ish. And he was in the front row and learning all about agency, and it was a wonderful time, and we've been friends ever since. And I wanted to interview him because he brought back to his country the desire to change the way the status quo was. In other words, creating and understanding that there's a value to the code of ethics, there's a value to license law, and we talked a little bit about globalization, that we agree on this. It's the world is one size and we're all connected and we have to stay connected. So I loved being with my friend. Hopefully I'm going to get to see him this year in Serbia. That's a goal of mine for this year. And he's just amazing. And he's just so much to learn. He has so much to learn from, because of his determination to be the best he can be in the real estate industry in that area. So I hope you enjoy meeting him. He's just an amazing guy. He's so well known in the United States after having come that first time. And you'll see that he shares the first time he stepped foot in the United States was in San Diego, which is pretty cool, which is where I live. I live in Oceanside, just north of San Diego City. So I hope you enjoy. I enjoyed spending time with him. I always enjoy spending time with him. I hope you learn a little bit and get curious, because then you're going to have the ability to get in touch. He's very generous with his time. If you have more questions, please ask him, because that's the guy he is. It's really pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoy it. I am so excited to introduce everyone that I know to this wonderful man whose name is Slavisa Pesic, and he is just such a cool guy. I love Zoom, because I'm having a conversation with him right now, and he's in Serbia. I'm in Southern California, and we're just going to talk about how we met. We're going to talk about what he's doing, why he's doing it. I'm just excited about this because I think so much of what he's doing is valuable. And those of you who know me know that I'm a very global person, that I spend a lot of time doing international property specialist classes. I talk about global all the time. And my friend here, Slavisa, is living that. And so I want everybody to know a little bit about you. So please introduce yourself, and let's just talk about when we met. What inspired you to travel? How long did it take? 20 hours to come to Southern California?
Hello, Jeannie. Well, as I told you before we start, my favorite song is The Thrill Is Gone, B.B. King. So when I speak to you, I said, the thrill is never gone. So I'm pretty much excited to speak with you, and because of many things, I respect you on every possible way. At the beginning, you asked me how the things begin. Well, we met actually at my first steps in United States. So I never stepped to United States before. This was my first trip because president of National Association of REALTORS in 2015, Chris Polifron, invited me in Athens, where we met, and where he was guest at the event of our friends from Greece. And he invited me to participate as the real estate broker and someone that is involved in the real estate association things in my country, in Serbia, and to say, why wouldn't you come to United States? We have a nice conference there that is going on in the autumn, in November, in San Diego. I was surprised. Well, it will be very nice. How would I come there? He said, you will be guest of the National Association of REALTORS. Okay. And then that was initiation of something that will going on later on. So I came to United States to that conference. In afternoon, we landed in San Diego, which is the first land I stepped on in United States.
And not a bad way to
start. Yeah, and that was afternoon. what I did with my friends, I said, now we will go to find where this event will happen, where that conference venue will be. And we will walk directly to that conference venue because we have that support with Google, with Google Maps and everything. And if you know to go by the Google map, then you will go directly where you are. In the morning, that was afternoon, in the evening. In the morning, we were already sitting in the class where the instructor was Jenny Phil, here present. And this is how I started my learning about the most important association in real estate in the world.
Yeah, well, I laugh about that because I was teaching accredited buyer representative, and it's something that I've had that designation since, and I've been in the real estate industry 36 years, 37 years this year. And I remember when the ABR was first created back in the day, got it very early on, and of course, my career path took me down the way between when agency was first created in the United States, and real estate agency was first created. So that was my history because I was in real estate when that first was all changed. So I was honored to be asked by the National Association of REALTORS to teach that class. I had 22 states and 3 countries, 75 students. And because of the way I am, Slavisa, I felt an obligation, and this is what I did. I learned the law, agency law, for every state represented in that room so that I wasn't singularly looking at just what happens in California. I was looking at Colorado and Alaska. Remember the Alaska lady? She was very talkative. In fact, if you recall, I named the people who kept asking me questions after the state they were from. So, hey, Alaska, what do you think? It was so much fun. And I got to meet you. And since that time, it's been such a wonderful friendship. And I get to see you and share with you and chat with you. It's just wonderful for me.
But again, Ginny, I believe that it was one of your classes. You are instructor, you are doing that, and it was one of your classes, and you are learn to see the people from Alaska or from Nebraska or from New York or whatever, and to speak with them, which are most or less in the same system.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was something revolutionary.
Or I'm sure it was, because there's no.
Because for you, it was ABR.
Right.
For me, it was the whole new system.
Oh.
Because we have some system and some learnings how we do the job, and everywhere in the world, the people do the job somehow. But these were, for me, meeting with a completely defined system that was developed for more than 100 years, that has its internal law, which is code of ethics, and of course external law, which is licensing law or something like that. And there are different ways of you develop from that experience. So for me, it was like wide open eyes, how to breathe all of this information you gave to us. So you can imagine how excited we were there.
Yeah. Oh, and you guys were the best. It was so much fun. I had so much fun with you all, and then ran into you later in the convention center floor, and it was just a blast. It was so much fun. But so what you're saying to me that I didn't know, I don't think we ever talked about it before, was kind of the impetus, that was the trigger, if you will, for you to start saying, we need to do something like this in Serbia. We need to bring some, is that a fair assumption on my part, that trigger was really starting you to say we need to create something better? Is that a fair assumption?
Well, actually, the trigger was not there. I have to admit that.
Good.
The trigger was before, because I was before in my previous life. I was an engineer working in the electronic industry, in some very complex industry, that is production of printed circuit board. For those that don't know what is printed circuit board, you are now depending of electronic devices no one of these electronic devices can work without printed circuit board. So that was my job, to produce that printed circuit board. So from that point of view, I was learned. And beside that, I am PhD, which is a kind of a research and development, status, how you call it. Excuse me for my English. Sometime I will forget the right word, but you will tell me.
I understand.
So the title, or I was learned to research and to find the better way to do something.
Mhm.
That's my nature of my being, So when I dropped as a parachuter in the real estate industry, I was learned to looking forward how to do it better.
Right.
So the trigger was, I would like to contribute to the better industry I belong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I saw there are some things missing, it's not organized on the proper way. We did not have a law. I joined my association together with some most prominent companies from Serbia. We created the association that is real estate cluster. And I joined them not from Belgrade, which is a capital. I live in the third city in the country, so less important city. Let's translate it. And then, but I wanted to contribute something to have a organized environment for doing our real estate job on that level that I can be proud of that. And when I said I'm a real estate agent, then the client said, "Oh, I'm glad to meet you," because where you don't have a law, where you don't have a code of ethics, where you don't have other things, then the conversation goes this way. I'm a real estate agent, and the other side say, "Oh, I don't want that. I don't need that." So I didn't want to have the second option. I wanted to have a first option, and that's why I joined the association as to try to find the best way. As I was not satisfied with what we have, I'm like a researcher. I was trying to find the best solution in the world. And after all these years, I can say the best solution in the world is National Association of REALTORS system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was the trigger to come there.
Right.
But when I already came there and I listened to you and you explain all of these things, how to do the job, then I said, "Oh yeah, I'm on the place." I find out.
So talk about how is that the real estate cluster? Talk about how is it going with your evolution and bringing this stuff to your area? Is it progressing? Talk a little bit about license law, all that kind of stuff. Can you share how things are going?
Well, the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "The willing is the power." Mm-hmm. So the first step in doing anything is to wish to that.
Yes. Yeah.
To wish to do that. So it was happening that some companies in Serbia that were doing real estate and that level we were at that time wanted to make it better. Needed to have a more respectable business,
right,
and to offer to be respected in what they do.
Right.
So this is the trigger everywhere, to wish to do something better.
Right.
And then we started to lobbying for getting the law, because most of our members understand that if we will have a law, then we will have organized environment to do the business. And that is mostly truth. I said mostly,
Mostly.
because many of the countries don't have laws for real estate professionals, and it's not easy to get it. So my opinion, you still have a job to do,
Right.
even when you don't have them. But at that time, we thought the number one target of us will be to get the law. And we succeeded in 2013 to get the it's not called licensing law, it's law of mediation in real estate. So that's how we look at that thing. And we succeeded to get it in 2013. So now, as many other countries don't have it, in Serbia, you need to be registered to do the real estate business. And as to be registered, you need to have a registered company with a space where you will do your job.
Right.
With at least one agent that has passed the exam for real estate agents and paid insurance of professional responsibility. So more or less, this is something like over 80% of Illinois licensing law.
Fascinating. So you very widely, obviously you talk to a lot of people. You've become very well known in the industry in the United States, just so you know, but because a lot of my friends are also friends of yours, which I love, but you incorporated something very important, which is E&O. We call it errors and omissions insurance, or you're calling it insurance to protect whomever, but that's a big part of this. There are agents that don't want to become realtors, that have a license. They're not realtors because you're only a realtor if you're a member of the National Association of REALTORS in your state and local associations. But then and E&O comes into place, and they don't want to. It's expensive. I buy my own. I'm a broker independently, so it's not it's an annual expense to me, which is fine because I do want to have E&O insurance. I want to protect myself. But you made progress, so you've done this. Has it? So what else is left? Where are things today in 2023? Obviously, we all dealt with COVID. That changed a lot of stuff. Where is the real estate cluster today? How are things progressing with getting more people involved? And share a little bit about that, if you would, please.
Well, nobody want to pay something. Yeah, everybody would like to get it free, but it's obviously it's not possible to get a good thing for free.
Right.
You know, I had some experience in Germany where I was on real estate fair, that Real Expo, you know that. And then I read some advertising that there is a free tour through Munich with a bus next to the train station. And I get there and I was looking which one of these buses, and I asked the how you call the guy, the lady that is checking your tickets.
Yeah,
and I asked her, excuse me, is this that free bus for tour through Munich? And she surprisingly said, no, it's not. And then she turned to me and said, but gentlemen, there is nothing good for free. You know, so I said, yeah, I understand, but I saw somewhere it's written. It is for free, so I am asking for free. It's nothing you can get really for free except the smile and good willing of the people. That's something that you can get for free and means a lot. But many other things you cannot get for free. So you have to pay some things. For example, you need to get something from there. So we succeeded to get that law. People were not happy because they were having to learn.
Yes. Oh my God.
Having to go to pass the exam.
Wow.
I was not very popular. You can imagine. I was not very popular, particularly in my city, because I was supported that thing that you will have to go back to school to learn something and to pass the exam as you will work the job. And which job? because that job is good if you can just if you are talented to aware the people to buy.
So you were not
Obviously, it's not enough.
Yeah,
It's not enough to aware the people to buy.
No, but I want to speak first. So, of course, you weren't popular because there are parts of the world I'm very aware that you just put a sign out in front of your house if you want to be a real estate agent. Say I'm in real estate, and nothing else is necessary. And even we complain. I personally do that. Getting your real estate license anywhere in any state that I'm familiar with, everything you're learning to get a license will have nothing to do with you being successful in the industry at all. And that's why education is beyond the license piece. Education is paramount to success. And that's why I'm so passionate about training and teaching all the time.
Exactly. What I can tell you, when I was an engineer, I was proud of my job. And producing the printed circuit boards is a very complex job. So as an engineer, you have a very challenging job to produce it without problems. So as engineers, we respected ourselves and say, we are the most important in this factory. And then my boss, my chief, goes to the meeting of the directors and comes back obsessed. They all think the easiest job is to produce the printed circuit boards, and the most complicated job is to sell it. And we say, oh, how come? They're crazy. What are they? Insane. And after some time, I was general manager of that company. And I understand what. If you don't know to produce the printed circuit boards, what are you doing here? So you need to know that. But then the trouble is to sell it.
Yes.
So it is the same in our job.
Yeah.
You have to pass the license, and you need to learn some things that you think are not important. But these things are important when you do the job. You don't know when, but they are important. If you don't know that, you cannot do the job. But if you want to be more successful, you need more. You need to go to Ginny Field's courses. You need to learn ABR, SRS, PSA. You need to learn all these courses to be able to give a highest possible service.
Yeah, and it's been, thank you for that. I've been very grateful. I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a couple weeks ago teaching negotiation. I will be in Nebraska next week teaching bias override and the code of ethics. And I've just rewritten my code class for the 2023 changes in the code. And the goal I have is to get people to want to learn more and be better at their jobs. And people ask me, why do you still do it? And I said, because I feel I have an obligation to give back. I love what I do. I love influencing someone to maybe have the aha moment, that one thing that gets them to say, get up, go to work every day, and you're going to be okay. And it's a passion of mine. I do my best. I walk out the door at the end of whatever and say, okay, I either did or didn't, but I tried. And that's the way I look at it. So it's just, are you coming to Anaheim? Are you going to be here in Anaheim in November?
Hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah, my target. But Ginny,
yes.
If you allow me, well, you know what impressed me very much when I was at your course in 2015 in San Diego? That is because you were open to conversation in the room. You supported everybody to ask you whatever they have a problem, and you never said you don't know that, you didn't understand. You didn't understand. Go back, sit back, and learn more, and come back to me. You never say that. You responded to everything of that. So I feel free. I feel respected over that. Even when we were talking, that you said dual agency is something forbidden, and I said we are doing that in Serbia. you know.
Yeah,
But
I do.
how? Because we have a different attitude, with
That's
different
right.
system.
Yeah. But
But
dual
you were
agency,
flowing.
the dual agency issue is can be scary if you don't know what you're doing. And my whole thing, I don't say it's forbidden. I think that some states, I know some states do not allow it. And that's what we spoke about, because Colorado, in fact, if you remember the man from Colorado, I can still in my mind's eye, and that was a long time ago, know exactly where the Colorado guy was sitting. And we were talking about dual agency and we were talking about those things. And he raised his hand. And you remember what he said? He said, I think you're all crazy if you do dual agency. And I said, well, there's Colorado's opinion, which is why that state passed law to prevent dual agency. And with some of the things going on here in the country right now, I think at some level, there's going to be potentially more of that. I'm doing one of the other things that I do is risk management consulting, and I've got a situation right now that's just a hot mess. And I got a call from somebody I've known for quite a number of years, and you've got a buyer and a seller, and they're accusing each other of stuff. And the buyer talked directly to the seller to the buyer. The agent wasn't really involved, and everybody's mad at everybody else. And they're all trying to say it's the agent's fault. No, not the agent's fault. It's your fault because you chose to go in this direction. So, but it's dual agency. So, yeah, they're going to be paying me to
Yeah,
get.
but for me, it was surprisingly, it was something, some amazing experience that you were open to listen and to argue on some good level, on some respectable level with everybody about different attitudes, about different ways of doing something. I think I can go so far. I can say this world will be better if we will be able to accept differences.
I agree. Oh my
So
God.
the most important thing is in our businesses to give a good service to our clients and to be respected ourselves.
And what you
What
just
is the way? What is the way? It can be different.
Yes, yeah. But Sir, Slavisa, what you're saying is so much of a thing in that there have been too many people throughout the country where it was about the money, not about the client. They weren't thinking about, all they were doing is counting the dollars. And when you count the dollars and forget that you have somebody's largest investment in their lives and in the palm of your hand, and you're thinking about what's my paycheck going to be, in my opinion, that is the worst possible thing one can do, because you get paid when you do a great job, but you can't judge whether the job is done on how much you're getting paid. And that is a massive frustration for me, because don't forget you have a human being here. It's one of the reasons why real estate agents are often considered not good people, because it's about the money sometimes and not about the person. And that's just never been my thing. It's never been my style. I still sell houses. I have a wonderful young Navy couple in escrow right now in a house, and I just adore them. They're probably 31 years old with a little tiny cute kid, and I still love doing it. I still love it. But going back to what you said, my style of teaching has always been inclusive. And I'm grateful that even with Zoom, I'm able to do that. I pay attention to the chat when I'm doing a class on Zoom, because I want to make sure, I believe we all learn from each other. We hear more things from each other. When I was teaching RENE in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, one of the students said, yeah, because of the VA, I just tell the veteran to pay me outside of escrow. I said, excuse me? My hair, I got another gray hair out of that. And I said, that's against federal law. And the look on her face, I said, that's a violation of federal law. But we talk about it in the whole group, because her situation becomes an education point for the rest of the students in the room. And that's what it should be.
That's a big thing. And because we are searching why we are there, because we are searching the way how to do something good, how to be happy and make somebody happy.
Right.
And it is about money, but it's not only about the money, because if you will be happy only with the money, then you can go to steal the bank.
That's
or
correct.
whatever, this way.
That's right. But what you did when you were creating circuit boards, that's a very difficult job. I can't even, that's not something anywhere near what I could ever do. But you did that job, you did it well, and you got paid to do it well. In real estate, you do a great job, you get paid, but you do a great job and then you get paid. You don't get paid and count the dollars before you've done that kind of job. When we look at numbers and stats in our country, roughly 60 to 65% of the people that are doing business, buying and selling houses, are working with someone they already know. So at the end of the day, when I deliver a keys to a buyer or I congratulate a seller on a sale, I want referrals. I want them to respect me as a realtor and tell other people about me. In fact, 2 of the deals I did last year were referrals from former students of mine. So that, having that long-term relationship, which takes me back to something I just had a memory of success and how does success happen. And one of the great thorns in my side is that agents don't stay in touch with people they've done business with. And when you do that well and you stay in touch in a consistent level and you like I when I go to Europe and I bring back Belgian chocolate, oh my gosh, what a stash I had this year. It was the best. And I have a whole refrigerator drawer filled with Belgian chocolate, which is the best. But I bring some back, and all of my clients that I put into as I close homes with gets chocolate from me, and I mail it with a thank you note. It's things like that that help grow your business, because at the end of the day, the goal is to make more money selling houses. In a business, you have to have a business plan, right?
I don't know. I understand at the end of the day, you want to be happy.
Yes.
If if you want to feel comfortable and to feel good, then you can make today the money, and you can make it different ways.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you can make a lot of money today, but the way of doing that, it might disturb your ability to earn the money tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know that, So it's not only about the getting the money. It's about being happy. So being happy with doing the job you love.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
it looks like some story from the books, but it is like that. At the end of the day, you want to feel good. If you make big money today, but somebody is angry about that, somebody is not satisfied, somebody will put in the internet the bad resumes about you, and somebody else will think bad about you. Will you think good about you? No.
Mm-hmm.
So, and will you make a money tomorrow? No.
Mm-hmm.
So because
Yes.
of that, it's about money, but it's not, the money will not be good if you don't earn it on the way you make yourself happy.
Right. You're
So
speaking.
it's depending. My goal is not to earn most money in my city. There are the others. The younger that are the best companies, the biggest listings, all the best. I'm not. I'm too old for that. I want just to be happy.
But what you're also talking about is integrity, Slavisa. You're talking about integrity. And one of the things that I say is that, and I do this, when I'm looking in the mirror, I have to look and see, do I respect the person I'm seeing when I'm looking at myself? Am I doing the best job I can do? Am I being the best me I can be? And I truly, that's a function of my life. That's the way, and that makes me happy ultimately at the same piece. So before we started, we talked a little bit about what the market is doing, and you and I agree on one major thing, and that is the world is global. It has not gone backwards. We're still a global community. We are I have written courses, and I found this really fabulous uh, clip art of a marble that's the world. And I when I write courses around global that are the short courses I do, I use that as my primary. I love it. Number one, it's really pretty. But and then I say the world is the size of a marble. What happens here is happening there and happening there and happening there as well. And so when I've seen things, people complaining about interest rates and inflation, I said, guys, stop it. It's happening in France. It's happening in Belgium. It's happening everywhere. It's not just in the United States. Don't get so cocoony. So talk about what your market is doing, how are things going? I'd love to hear a little bit about that in the little bit of time we have left.
Well, at first, I have to admit that what you said, you do the job you love. It's visible. When I came to your classes, when I listen to you speaking about anything in real estate, I see you enjoy it. And so you are doing passion and with a heart. So believe me, we on this side enjoy listening to you and learning from you. So this is first thing I want to say. And what you asked me about the global things, I think we shouldn't forget that the speed of exchanging the information today is immediate. So this is making this world global. And for me, that means we are not so separated.
No.
We are not so separated from how do you feel in the United States, how do I feel in Serbia, how do our people feel, our friends feel in Georgia, in Romania, in India, whatever. We're not so separated. Even there are a lot of differences. We learn the things very fast. We use the same phones, the same computers, the same marketing media, the same Google, Facebook, and everybody. I'm not paid for saying that. I hope I will be. I hope I will be. But, we are using the same things to do the job. So we are not so separated. One of my most important missions, as far as I passed your exam, your course, and I learned the things here and there. I've been in India, I've been in Georgia, I've been in Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, and many countries. One of the things I felt is we're not so different.
No.
But every time I face with is everybody thinks we are so different. And this is something that is obstacle. But we need to understand this world is more global than we think.
Absolutely.
And we have to adopt behavior that is to use the opportunities of that. We can be connected. NAR is present in 76 countries. National Association of REALTORS has 109 partners organization in 76 countries. All of them knows the code of ethics value. All of us are connected to that. And actually, our practice in our countries is not so different. Only the people think it's too much different, and we are keeping us more separated than we can be. So my mission was to break that opinion, wherever I can, and to tell to the people we are more close to each other. We need to understand and respect each other. We need to be like Jeannie do on her courses, to listen different opinions and to try to find a way how to work together. And this is something very important, and opportunities that I see there are huge. Your people in the United States don't know how good investment can make in Serbia.
Oh, without question.
But for example, Georgia, Greece, the other countries, only they have to learn about that countries and to see what opportunities are there. A few weeks ago, I met the president of the Global Council of California. I think past president or whatever, Catherine. And Catherine was first time in Serbia because she learned about from other people that it's an interesting country. She came once. After a few weeks, she came another time because she was so happy with what she met here in Serbia that she came another time in a few weeks.
Good for you.
So we met, and she was surprised about the way we are doing. We have some needs, some things that are not doing good, but we have some advantages, some very good things like good food, like good entertainment, like big investments around that are compatible with many countries, etc. So she felt our hospitality in Serbia, and she felt like meeting everybody. Everybody was happy to speak with her. So she was happy to be here. And we need to learn about the other countries to understand how close we are and how much we can cooperate and what are the opportunities through our CIPS, through our connections, to our networking, and through visiting the trade missions, conferences, etc.
Mm-hmm. Well, you spoke about CIPS, and for those watching, it's Certified International Property Specialist. One of my favorite things to teach, and when I teach it, I heard someone else had done this, and I said, gee, that's a perfect idea for me, is when I'm teaching CIPS and we get to the regional days where it's Europe, Asia, the Americas, and now there's Africa added, I only spend time in the morning talking about stuff. And then the afternoon on each of those days, the students in the room are studying. I pick countries and I want them to learn how to be students of those countries. And we unpack the things to look for, such as government style and GDP and aging populations and all of that type of stuff. And we spend the second half of the day doing that research in groups, and then we unpack it all together as one big group and learn about other countries. And my goal is just what you were saying, is the world is a marble. It's a tiny thing, and we are all interconnected. And the more we learn, as you just said, which was brilliant, my friend, the more we learn about the other countries, the better we will be, I believe, as a global community. So, when I asked, when I did it, the last CIPS I did, we were talking about, and we were in the Americas, and that region, and I asked people to look at Colombia, and people don't, Colombia at one point in time had very, very bad reputation. There was an area that was all cartels. It was terrible. But then they found out, wow, this is really great. This looks like a great place to go vacation. We looked at Peru, and somebody said, I want to go to Peru. We looked at other places. Montenegro is like a big thing right now. I know you know very well. And when I get goosebumps just then learning, when I get these folks to get excited about other countries in the world and understand what does that mean, then it just fills me up, and I get very excited. Last December, we had I did it for San Diego Association. We had a reunion of our students, and there were about 25 of us there. We had the most fun just talking about what we learned and how are you using it? What are you doing with it? So it's my passion. Well, my friend, I think our time is about up. I could talk to you for hours, but I do have another thing to do. For closing comments, what might you say, just as a close, coming from your perspective there in Serbia, that the people watching might want to know?
Well, I will previously say what you inspired me with your speech now. For some people, their home is enough. So they will need to go out of their home the whole life. It's okay. This kind of people love that. And if they are happy with that, that's for admiring. But some other people need to learn about the other parts of the world.
Yes.
So I like to say, my name is Pesic, Slavisa Pesic. I'm a real estate agent in Serbia. I'm International REALTOR Member. And for me, the world is enough. So I would love to meet the other countries. I've been happy in many countries. Wherever I've gone, I've been happy to learn about that culture, about that people, about the way they do the business, and to understand the reasons. Why are they doing it that way? There might be the reasons that they should do it that way, but at the same time, there are often the reasons why they need to learn something more.
Yes.
about the other parts of the world and to improve our own.
Right.
So because of that, I think we should be with each other.
Yes.
We should travel. We should connect. We should use all the opportunities that our today world is giving to us to make a better things and to make more happy ourselves and the people around us.
Agreed totally. Well said, my friend. Well, my darling, I adore you. It's just such a joy to see you. I can't wait to get a hug. Hopefully, I'll see you this year. And I just appreciate you so much. You took on a project and said, this can be better. Let's make it better. And even if people didn't like you, you knew it was the right thing to do. So I'm very, very proud to call you my friend. I'm very proud of all that you're doing there. And I can't wait to see you next time. Mwah. Thank you so much.
Jeannie, love you very much. And you are my angel. You are the first instructor that I have learned about the real estate job in the world. And thank you for the honor to be a guest. I invite you, and I would like to have that honor to have you as a speaker in our conference, Learn to Succeed, because Learn to Succeed conference in Serbia is one of the rare international brands in real estate. And so far, we did have a guest and speakers and participants from over 20 countries, including the names that are respectable throughout the world. And I hope to add your name on the list and to welcome you in Serbia.
I would love to do that. It would be a joy. Last year I couldn't. My daughter went and got married, and then we had to have a party, so I could not make it happen. But boy, I would love to do that. Let's make sure we speak more about timing of that, so I can get something on my calendar earlier than later and be there, because I would love to see you in person and have you show me around and eat some of that good food and see some of those great things.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed in this conversation. I hope to see you soon as possible, and I wish you all the best.
All right, thank you.
Greetings from Serbia.
Goodbye, my friend. Much love. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, now you got to meet one of my favorite people. Just a really good guy, and so smart, and so determined to make real estate better. He's done a tremendous job in making change in his country, and has created something called the real estate cluster, which is sort of their version of what we would call the National Association of REALTORS. So just an awesome guy. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and feel free to reach out to him if you have questions, because I know he's more than willing to always be very generous with his time. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.